What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to the joiners, shout out to the point of view crew, and trip on this. Let's do a pro tip right away. Let's get something squared away because we don't like fake news around here at Prison POV. So let's just get to the bottom of an issue. I believe that a lot of people have this wrong. And here's the deal. When you go to an institution, county jail, a reception, prison, mainline, any sort of institution, they're all going to have their version of an R&R, receiving a release. They're all going to have you come in to start off with, get butt naked, and you are going to squat and cough. And so the vast majority, probably 80% of the population, believes the reason why you are squatting and coughing is so that contraband will fall out. But nothing could be further from the truth, because once you put something up in there, it's up in there. Actually, good luck getting it out. Well, I mean, those of us who've hooped things wish it could be so easy as to do a little squat, a little cough, and it come rolling on out. But no, more often than not, you got to go fishing for it. So the reason for the squat and the cough is in case you have a burner, in case you have a filetto up in there, when you squat and cough, it's going to poke you in your very own guts. Bro, you're going to assault yourself, homeboy, and that's what they're hoping for. That's what they're banking on. So I hope I help somebody out there with that one. Let's just kick it off like this. Trip on this. I told you guys I was running around, running amok 30 days ago or so, last couple of months before I pulled my head out of my arse. And in doing so, I seen two brothers, straight G'd up, active as can be. Now these two brothers, there actually used to be 4 of them. 2 of them passed away, 2 of them remain. And let me tell a story on how one of them passed away. Let's just do that right now. And with all due respect to him and his family, this is what happened to homeboy. So, he was at Tehachapi State Prison several years ago when they still had Brand on the line. They still had dudes from the AB on the main line. And they had, of course, dudes from NLR. So this dude, one of the 4 brothers I'm talking about, was at Tehachapi, and he wanted to become a Brand member. Now, something like that, you don't go ask. You kind of let your intentions be known very subtly. It's not something you'd come out and boldly ask, hey, I want to join up. And then once they find out that you do, that is your intention, that is what you want, they're not going to come right out with a yes or no answer. Things like that can take years to figure out, get to the bottom of, prospect. So it's just nothing that's done very quickly. It's something actually it's very delicate. But this dude had made his intentions known. He knew the right people. He was the right kind of motherfucker. He threw it out there. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to become a Brand member. And so after a while, they came at him with, okay, you're in. You're in. Go do this. You're in, but you have to go do this first. A lot of time, that's how it works, homeboy. I mean, you're in, but do this first. We're going to scratch your back. You got to scratch ours. We want to see what you're made of. So, bro, they gave him a mission. Told him he was in. It's all gravy. But then he backed up like a crawdad. He backed up off of it. He changed his mind. He said, I don't know if he didn't want to do the mission they had for him. I don't know if he just changed his mind all of a sudden, if it didn't look all that good anymore. I don't know, maybe what he was expecting, he thought he'd get out of it, he no longer was going to get. I don't know the situation. I don't know why he backed up. Doesn't seem like a very smart move to me to ask to get in. They say, okay, you're in. And you go, never mind. I mean, I don't think that's going to be met with too much happiness and positivity. And it most certainly wasn't. He was a marked man moving forward. And what happened to him was, they got a dude from NLR to stick him. And when dude stuck him, he stuck him through the bars a great distance away. I wasn't there to see it. From what I understand, with some sort of spear. From some sort of long jousting spear type weapon. Stuck him from a distance. Stuck him through some bars. And got dude right in his neck. Now he survived the attack. Initially. But what happened was, and I told this story before, and here comes the problem right now. Last time I told this story, everything went real fine. Everything was great until I got to right here. When I explained the fact that he got stuck with a spear through the bars from a great distance away. He survived the attack, but when he got stuck, it hit a ball of cancer. It hit a ball of cancer. It opened that cancer up, and it spread throughout his whole body, and he ended up passing away shortly after that from cancer. Had he never been stuck in the neck and stuck in that ball of cancer, it wouldn't have spread, and he would not have passed away from it. But it was that attack with that spear that made him meet his early demise. And people said, Splinter, no, you're full of it. There's no way. It doesn't work like that. You're not going to poke a ball of cancer and it's not going to spread. That's not the way it works. But au contraire, mon frere, because trip on this. I actually have a family member. My aunt had cancer in her head. And they came out with a new thing called a laser knife. And the family was happy about it. The doctor explained this laser knife to us. Everyone was thinking it was a great idea because he was going to take this cancer knife and go in there and just cut that cancer away. A laser knife. A laser cancer knife, for lack of a better term. I don't know the proper terminology, but I know it was a laser, and I was supposed to go in there and cut that cancer out of there. But what he did, instead of cutting it out, he cut right through it. And when he did that, it spread throughout her whole body, and it was a downward spiral after that. So, yep, dude got stuck, survived the attack, but he ended up succumbing to cancer with injury. Opened up. You feel me or not? Now, trip on this. Here's the next story. And this one I don't think I told it as a featured story per se. I think it kind of just came out as like a side note in a video a long time ago. It's not nothing I want to park it here and drag the story out with a lot of details. It is delicate in and of itself, but I'm just trying to make a point here. A long time ago, I was driving with some people. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, I guess you could say, or the wrong place at the wrong time. I didn't even know these people. They were out of my age group. I was there and I was going to get a ride and we were going someplace, but they were going to a different place. And when I was going, I was going to get dropped off on the way, yada, yada, yada. Now, I know one of the dudes that was with us, a lot of bad vibes are coming from him. He was bummed out. He was spun out. He was depressed. He was struggling with life. They were trying to talk some common sense into him. He wasn't picking up what they were putting down. We ended up getting in the car. We're getting in the car. We're hauling ass in the freeway, 100, 120 miles an hour. Okay, maybe not 120, maybe I'm exaggerating. Definitely 100 though. Homeboy, we're hauling ass in the freeway, a muscle car, and the stereo is just booming. Boom, 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 boom. White Zombie, the song was Thunder Kiss 65. I'll never forget it. Now, after we exited this freeway and we're going along this street, all of a sudden I smelled gunpowder. I smelled like a firearm went off. And I looked back over there, and the dude who was all bummed out, the dude who was struggling with life, he actually unalived himself in the back seat. Capped himself. I didn't hear a sound. I didn't hear a sound. The pop of the gun did not go above the sound of the music. I didn't hear it, bro. I didn't see a flash. There were some street lights. I often question why I didn't see a flash. I didn't see or hear nothing, but I smelt it all. What I smelt told me everything I needed to know. Wow, something just fired off. Someone capped it back. And I pulled back. I looked back, and sure enough, he had a big, thick leather coat on, and he was like this. And they're trying to pick him up, straighten him up. Dude pulled over. I got out of the car. I ran for the hills. I got the F out of Dodge. We were close enough to my destination. Like, okay, I get off here, folks. And I got to where I needed to get to. The owner of the car was in his name. He stuck around, had to deal with the authorities, make sure they showed up, and everything was everything. But people often say, Splinter, there's no way. There's no way, Splinter, that you did not hear it. I'm telling you straight up, I didn't hear a bang. I didn't hear a pop. Trip on this. I was at Soledad State Prison. Twice. Both times I was there, a big riot. First time I was there, Woods had a big riot with the blacks. Second time I was there, Woods had a big riot with North Daniels. I was just so glad that my cellie had a TV, because when I came through R&R, anytime you hit a fresh prison, you want to ask the R&R clerks, what's up at the yard? What kind of program is happening? Is there a grip of woods? What's the daily life like? You ask the dudes in the R&R clerks, what's happening? What's up with the woods? You find a white boy R&R clerk, what's up with our people? And they told me, dude, you guys are slammed. The woods got off of North Daniels. You're going to be locked down probably for a year. You're not going to come out of your cell probably for a year. So I was like, man, I just hope I get to where I'm going and my cellie has a TV. That's all I was praying for. Sure enough, boop, got in my cell. Cellie had a TV. My celly was Trouble from Riverside, who ended up eventually getting in trouble. Trouble got in trouble now because he became a skinhead in prison, which is a big no-no, and we could touch on that later. We could talk about it later. That's what he did, and he got the blues for it. Be that as it may. We're in our cell, we're programming, third tier, surrounded by Norteños, and all of a sudden they decided to do a sweep. The cops decided to do a sweep. They decided to do a shakedown. And what they did is they grabbed every white boy. There's two buildings on North Yard. There's North Yard A and North Yard B. We were in B, so they have Whitney and Shasta, I believe, the two buildings. They took all the white boys out of Whitney and put us in the gym. And they're going to go through and search all of our cells. So as we're in the gym in our boxers, handcuffed up, while they're shredding our cells, tearing them apart, brutalizing them, they came and got these two skinheads. One from IE and one from San Luis Obispo. They just came right in, grabbed their names, and just rushed them off. Before they got a chance to rush them off, the one from IE said to us Woods that were in earshot of him, hey, the reason why they're snatching up me and my celly now, they must have found our weapons. We have several shanks up in our pad. We have some up in the vent. We have some behind the sink. We have some in our mattresses. If they went in with a metal detector, they are going to find all of our shanks. However, they may not find them all. Maybe they found one and stopped looking. Therefore, and furthermore, you guys need to send a white boys, Woods, into our cell as quick as possible. Because, like I said, maybe they only found one of our 5 filetos. We'd hate for another race to go in there and find the others, and now our weapons are in the other race's hands. So very quickly, Billy the Kid, who is our MAC rep, was able to put a bed move in very quickly. Trouble and I, within a day, moved into that empty cell. Now, they had gotten all the filetos. They went in there with a metal detector. They found all 5 metal shanks, but they did not find the best shank. The most beautiful handmade weapon I've ever seen in my life. They did not find the wooden shank, homeboy. The wooden fileto that was made from the game Scrabble. I want to say Yahtzee so damn bad. Scrabble. It held the Scrabble tiles, that little wood piece. Someone took care. Someone took time. Bro, it had to take a long time. I'm not even sure how they did it, but they made love to this piece of weapon stock, and they put a fabulous point on it. And you know what? What good is a point without a handle? They did not disappoint. They not only put a point on it, they put a handle on it. So some people come along and disagree with me and say, Splinter, we don't believe you. We don't see how a wooden shank can be better than every single metal one you've ever seen. We know you've seen lots of metal shanks, Splinter, and I've had all shapes and sizes. Now, when you go into a level 3, level 4 yard, a cell in the California prison system, they're all going to have a desk right here. And that desk comes out, hits a 45-degree angle, and drops down, and there's this much of a lip. I seen where someone took dental floss, that dental floss stuff, which you're no longer allowed to have. That's why you can only get it in the toothpick size, and they'll have a little piece right here. Just, they're not going to let you have all this dental floss to wrap around both hands and cut just a big old fileto off that freaking desk that hung down. Bro, they must have took that thing to the machine shop to sharpen it because the metal's that thick and you're not going to get it done on the ground. I say all that to say this, that be that as it may, even though that was a thick, badass fileto, this wood one was way better. Best one I ever seen. So snarf, imagine that. Here I am up here telling my stories, and I talk about how homeboy got stuck and the cancer spread. Splinter, you're lying. Then I come real vulnerable and tell a sad story about how guy unalived himself. Splinter, you're lying. How can I make that up? And then I come through and say that best fileto I ever found was made of wood and broke my heart to have to lead to Arizona, have to leave that thing behind. I was really scratching my head. How could I take that thing, which is impossible? You can't take it in the TV. I've never been able to hoop that thing. If I could, though, I'd have been good to go because it's made of wood. Broke my heart to have to leave it behind. Now, another thing that people say, I don't think so, Splinter, is when I talk about my glory days when I had the keys. When I had the keys to C1. I'll come on here once in a while and I'll tell a couple of good stories, like about that dude Josh, who was that gymnast, and he used to try to peek on people in the Jack Shack, and they got the tips put on him, and about that dude Spoon Dog, and about how Fresno beat up that dude Sketch. He's actually a professional baseball player. They got at that ass. So many good stories about when I had the building, when I had the keys to C1. People say, nah, Splinter, you weren't in charge of a whole building. Absolutely, I was. And you know what? I'll be the first one to tell you that actually doesn't even mean anything. I mean, it looks okay on the resume. The next spot you get to going, you're like, hey, I had the keys back there. Or just as you journey through the CDC, and if it pops up, that information gets shared. He was in control of the building. Lets everyone know you have a level head. It lets everyone know that you're worthy of giving and getting respect. But really, what it boils down to is just that you knew the guy who had the keys before you. That's really what it comes down to. He's the only one you have to convince you're worth the shit, and usually you don't have to convince him because it's your homeboy. For instance, Giant. Giant, my straight up dog-eat dog. Love that dude. Done time with them, been on the streets with them. Man, he knocked this dude out. He knocked this dude out and left the house. And the dude had some friends, and they came over, and he woke him up, and he couldn't find his car keys. And they were all calling Giant, bring this dude's car keys back. He's like, I don't have them. I knocked dude out, and I left. Is he awake? Is he all right? He just woke up. He is all right. He wants his car keys. They kept calling. All these people kept calling Giant. That's messed up of you. You knocked dude out. And that's fine, but how come you had to take his car keys? He's over here stuck. He needs his car keys. All these people calling Giant to come to find out the dude had the car keys in his pocket the whole damn time. Dude, think about getting smashed so hard, you're so cum drunk, but you're thinking that someone took your car keys. Brother Giant gave me the keys. That's the only person I had to convince that I was worthy of him, and he already knew that because we were dogs. We'd already done time together. We'd already been on the streets, running amok, kicked dust up on the yard. We were homeboys. So I had no problem of him saying, Splinter, when I leave, the keys go to you. But actually there was one problem, because he'd already promised them to a dude named Bam Bam. He'd already said, hey, Bam Bam, when I leave, this building is yours. But then I heard about that. I start talking to Giant. I got in his ear. I said, hell no, dog. Don't leave him to Bam Bam. Leave him to me, brother. We're way more tighter than you and Bam Bam are. And Bam Bam was borderline bunny style anyway. I mean, there's several Bam Bams. And a lot of them, their name is Jerry. So I can't even say, Bam Bam Jerry. A lot of them, that is their first name. Bro, it's probably the Bam Bam you don't know. Anyways, Giant was going to give it to him. I talked him out of it. And then Bam Bam, which I respect, said, okay, Splinter, you and I got to get it up then. Keys were going to go to me. You came in a side busted. You stepped on my toes. Then you and I got to chuck them. Hey, I respect that, bro. Him and I went in the corner, and we chucked him. I won. Wouldn't matter if I won or not. I was still getting the building. He just wanted a little bit of a run back. He just wanted to be able to feel like he was standing up for himself a little bit. We chucked him. It was an even fight. It is what it is. Can't that way. I was still getting the building. But Spoon Dog stepped up then. And I respect this too, because I'm from Rexland, south side of Bakersfield. Bam Bam's from Oildale. Spoon Dog's from Oildale. And after I chucked him with Bam Bam, and I would say I won, homeboy, wouldn't matter won or not, still got the building. But Spoon Dog stepped up and said, oh, you chucked him with my homeboy? You guys got busy because he wanted to get his respect back because you stepped on his toes over the building? Well, I want some too. What's happening? Then Spoon Dog and myself got up, and I took him out with a quickness. I pinned that ass. But bro, way back in the day, homie, just like that story when I got jumped over that bad call. And I got in that fight with Mountain Bike Mike. And after we fought, it was supposed to be a dead issue. And I heard him in the corner. He won that fight. He beat my ass. Supposed to be a dead issue. But I heard him in the corner. See, I hit him like this. I hit him like that. I hit him like this. So I pushed up on him. I said, hey, homeboy, you're not supposed to be talking about our fight. How you got me like this. How you got me like that. It's a dead issue. If I hear you running your mouth about it anymore, I'm going to slice you up. And I showed him my little tomahawk. I said, I'm going to get you cutting, homeboy. If you don't drop it, it's a dead issue. But he blew his top. He got so freaking mad. He went and told all the Bearshow car, whoa, Splinter threatened me with a weapon. He has to go. You have to roll him up and get him out of here. He's not allowed to go around threatening homeboys with a weapon. I want him out of here. And the homeboys are like, dude, we can't get rid of Splinter. We're not rolling him up. He's not going anywhere. Handle it yourself. You got a problem with it. But we'd already fought. We were already keeping our distance. And he was stressing on me threatened him with that freaking tomahawk. So his homeboy Littlewood came in and said, check this out. Bakersfield Car does not want to get rid of Splinter. I want to keep my homeboy Mountain Bike Mike's respect. Say that fast 3 times. Mountain Bike Mike. I want to keep his respect, Littlewood said. So in order to do so, I'm going to fight Splinter now. I want to fight Splinter one-on-one. Because he threatened the homeboy Mike with a weapon. So I just fought Mike. Now I got to fight Littlewood. I'm beating his ass. And Mike jumps in. Then the third person, I'm getting jumped. The cops see it. Buzzer gets pushed. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm off to H5 with a broken nose. 2 black eyes covered in blood. That's the way I like to do my time, homeboy. And with that being said, I'm going to cut the string and let it fly. Peace.